Hey, moviegoers, it's Raina.
And Droo.
And we are Instant Movie Reviews with Raina and Droo. We have been friends for 20 years and we've been watching movies for so long. We really got into it during the pandemic.
Mm-hmm.
We've been seeing them mostly once a week, sometimes once every 2 weeks when it's a particularly slow season.
Or sometimes in the same day when Barbenheimer happens.
Yeah, that was a good time. And we thought it would be fun to just start sharing our reviews with our friends and family and now a wider audience on YouTube. Thank you for 50 subscribers. So what are we here to see today, Droo?
We are here to see Weapons, which is the second film by Cregger, who directed the surprise debut hit Barbarian.
Where the runaway cast star of that one was the measuring tape.
Mm-hmm.
I loved that movie. It was bonkers.
I can't use measuring tape anymore without thinking of that movie.
Absolutely, absolutely. And we both genuinely really enjoyed Barbarian, I'm thinking. I'm trying to recall. Like, it had a tonal shift, but, like, it was still good.
I think of Barbarian in 3 parts, and I thought the first part was brilliant, and then the tonal shift was unexpected, but also quite fun. Third act didn't quite work as well for me as the first 2, but I'm definitely interested in seeing what this particular writer-director comes up with, and he's also doing the new Resident Evil movie after this.
Right. And Julie Garner, who's in this, she did Wolfman earlier in the year, and she just did Silver Surfer as well. So she's having quite the year. And I saw a joke that like 5 people in the cast are from the MCU. So they're just basically horror movies are now collecting MCU stars, which I think is funny. But what have you seen so far for the trailer? We're trying to avoid spoilers.
Yeah, so there was one trailer that spoiled some of the deaths that I didn't really want to see. So the only trailer that I've seen is the cryptic one about like all of the students of this class got up in the middle of the night and then left. And then the rest of the trailer was just some sort of random scenes from the other movie to establish that it's frightening, but it didn't. I don't feel like what I saw has spoiled the plot. And apparently what you think this movie is going to be going in just based on that trailer, it's not that at all. So I'm expecting a Barbarian-esque kind of twist partway through.
It's getting rave reviews, and I have yet to see anybody say it's overhyped. I'm seeing everyone being like, yes, this is worth the hype. I've not even seen a single comment on the internet yet saying it's overhyped. So this is exciting for me. I did check out some of the online stuff that they've been doing to prep for it, and like one of it was like an unlisted YouTube video that was a live stream and really creepy and weird.
Didn't Bring Her Back do some crazy like augmented reality stuff?
Right, I missed that. You had seen that and I missed that. So that I love that we're getting back into this era of filmmaking where it's very immersive and they're getting all of this interesting stuff.
Do you remember Cloverfield, the crazy like augmented reality, like fake websites for the slushy stuff? And
I love it. I love it. I love it. They did it actually all the way back. It kind of started with the Batman movie that Heath Ledger was in and that The Dark Knight, right? That's what that one was. Yeah. And they even did it with that, like Why So Serious and stuff. So I really like that. To me, that's like setting a good tone. I love a rich lore in a film. I did see a couple things spoiled for me because of YouTube thumbnails, and I really wish people would not spoil things in YouTube thumbnails, at least not in like the first week or 2 that a film is out. Like that makes me mad. That happened with one of my favorite games recently. Like a huge plot point was spoiled the day the game came out in a YouTube thumbnail. Like, come on. You want me to click on it? I'm going to tell you off. That's what I'm going to do.
Was that Silent Hill 2 or?
No, it was the new Death Stranding.
Oh yeah.
Like they like it was just like a pivotal plot point. Like the biggest plot point in the game was just like spoiled for me like the first day it came out. It sucked.
That's the equivalent of like in that Simpsons episode, Homer Simpson thing. I mean, can you believe they revealed that Darth Vader is Luke's father? And I'm in the line being like, hey.
Yeah. So we enjoy making things for you that are spoiler free, even though it can occasionally be a challenge for us. I'm going into this just very open-minded. My friend Ange is going to join us. She doesn't want to be on camera, but we reference Ange a lot. We'll
get her there. We'll get you there, Ange.
We reference Ange a lot because we have similar tastes with her, and she can sometimes be our gauge for like if we can handle a movie, and she let us know that we could probably handle together. So I'm really excited for you two to finally meet and put a name to the face. And just really fun because she's a fellow mom, just to get another mom out to do this. But overall, I'm really excited for this. Yeah.
Seeing an IMAX, which is rare for a horror movie.
Yeah, I said to Droo, we tried to see it sooner, but we couldn't make it work with our schedule. And I said, not many horror movies end up getting the IMAX treatment, so this has my curiosity.
There's got to be a reason for it. I'm just hoping it's not too gross of a reason.
The only thing I'm concerned about is Droo and I really like the first bit of Hereditary. We actually loved Hereditary right up to like the last 5 minutes. And for me, actually for both of us, the last 5 minutes really kind of ruined it for us. And a lot of comparisons to Hereditary, so I'm like, please don't do that to me then. Like,
hopefully they don't jump the CGI shark.
Jump the CGI shark! We've been getting all kinds of shark visits in our province too, so I've been thinking about them a lot. Anyway, we're gonna head in and go check it out, and we hope you'll stick around to see our thoughts.
We'll see you in a minute.
Alrighty. That was something. Ange came and joined us, which was very nice. She was already there. It was an IMAX showing, and I'd say it was about a third full.
Yeah. Although it is a Monday night when we're recording this, so that's not exactly like peak movie time between the weekend and cheap Tuesdays.
Yeah, and I don't know how long it's going to stay in IMAX. I'm not sure what else is coming out that would end up in there, but
I'm just going to start by saying I'm a little confused why that was in IMAX. I'm trying to think if there's any shots in that really needed to be on a screen that size.
No, actually, like now that you say that, I am kind of confused that it was in IMAX too. It was kind of like in IMAX for the sake of being in IMAX, and I had been wondering, like that was something that piqued my curiosity.
Yeah.
I chose to see it in IMAX because I was like, also, they didn't really have great showing times for our theater. Everything was quite early this whole weekend last week, so even though it only came out like last Thursday, it's only been out a few days, but the showings were quite early. Which is always kind of weird for a horror movie. Like, I want to see a horror movie at like 7 or 8 o'clock at night, not at like 6.
Well, it's dark now. So.
Yeah. So I guess give us a bit of a synopsis without being too spoilery.
So, as the trailer says, the whole premise is that at like the exact same time in the middle of the night, all but one student of this particular elementary school class get up, get out of their beds, leave their houses, and disappear. And then the movie kind of picks up after that event has happened. It follows sort of in chapters different characters who have been impacted by this disappearance. It kind of jumps back and forth in time. Not everything's presented in chronological order. And I'm trying to think, there was another horror movie, maybe it wasn't even a horror movie, that was told in chapters like that.
We just saw Life of Chuck, but it was chronological, just backwards, right?
Yeah.
And it wasn't even just chapters, it was like from each character's perspective. So you would see some events again.
Did it do that? No, I don't think it did that.
No, something did it recently, but you're right. It's funny you mentioned it though, because this film actually gave me It vibes. Just with like the missing kids and the way some of the shots were, and the end reveal was a bit reminiscent to me of It, but not quite as good as the scariness of Pennywise and like the looming threat he played on children for me.
Better than It Chapter 2's reveal.
Well, It Chapter 2, I mean, I'm thinking It Chapter 1, but It Chapter 2. So it showed different characters' perspectives, and in the beginning I really liked that. I was like, oh, this is cool. Like, I feel like I'm playing detective. It reminds me of kind of video games where you would do that.
Yeah, it was very much a mystery, and actually, now that you say that, I talked about in our Until Dawn review how much I liked that game. That's what I'm thinking of. Until Dawn would put you in different chapters from the perspectives of the different teenagers at this ski lodge and follow them for different portions. That's exactly what I was thinking of. It's the Until Dawn video game, not the movie that I'm thinking of.
I did like it up until a point. There was one point where I looked at my watch and I thought, okay, we're an hour and a half into this movie and I've seen these same scenes over and over again, just from a different perspective. And I'm getting a little tired of it. Like, I kind of just want to get going. Like, I want to get going with the plot. I don't feel necessarily like I'm gaining a whole lot of new perspective from each one. And then as you get towards the last few perspectives, you do obviously gain more plot and you gain more of the mystery and you start to solve things. But for me with ADD, I did find that aspect of it dragged on just a tiny bit too long. Like, I was into it, and then I was like, man, like when are we going to actually like continue this story?
Again, because it was really just kind of a mystery for the first little bit of it, and I was like, when is the horror going to start? And it does start. It does eventually get horror-y, but it takes a little bit to get there.
But it reminds me a lot of Together, in that there was like segmented horror here and there, and then it saved most of the horror for the end.
Yeah.
And there are just huge chunks without any horror, and definitely like there were a few jump scares. You know they're coming because of the audio cues, and they still got me a few times.
One thing that the trailer did say, so this is not a spoiler since it's in the trailer, was the idea of like a whole bunch of people died in various ways, and I kind of got a bit of the monkey vibe from it, and that's not what this movie was. Like I'm not sure that I would agree with that.
Yeah, because
statement.
Actually, at the end of the day, not many people died.
Yeah.
And it made it seem like tons of people in the town died.
Mm-hmm.
And also, there were some contradictions in the beginning narration than by the end of the film. And then I'm also questioning, once we're through the whole film, who was the narrator? Like, there was just a few floaty plot points that I was like, like, I don't know if I'm just missing something, and then I'll watch like someone's YouTube video essay and I'll like check more boxes, but it did feel a little plot holy in some points for me. Like,
and just for me, some of the characters didn't feel like they were as fully fleshed out as they could have been.
Yeah.
There's one perspective character. But what I mean is a character whose perspective we shift to for a very long time compared to some of the others. And I felt that character was quite well developed. I was quite invested in this character. But then there were other ones that were just kind of like, okay, that kind of moved things forward a little bit. But again, I can't spoil it, but there's just a couple of characters that I'm like, they didn't really contribute anything.
Yeah.
I did, although I said in the intro that Barbarian, I loved the first part, and then the ending kind of fell apart. I liked the ending of this actually quite a bit. Once the horror stuff started, I was like, all right, that's got my blood pumping a little bit. It's got my tummy gurgling in the theater. Like I'm getting
stressed out, and we're starting to solve the mystery, and so things are starting to come together, and I did like that too.
Yeah, and I will say that the antagonist of this movie was memorable.
But they weren't even introduced until almost past the halfway mark of the film.
But once the antagonist is introduced and it starts to become clear what's going on, I thought that was actually quite an effective presentation of that kind of antagonist.
Yeah, they were a stressful antagonist, and just having children be the focus of this as a mom, like I think anybody is bothered by it, but I think like I've always worked with kids. Content where kids are in danger has always really bothered me, but oh my gosh, it's, you're seeing perspective of parents who have lost their children, and that was really upsetting to me and stressing me out.
That's a theme this year. Bring Her Back had a lot of that as
well.
Yeah,
but speaking of Bring Her Back, I will say I wish Bring Her Back was getting more notice, because Weapons is getting all these accolades, and it's blown past its budget. It also had huge promotion, I think, in comparison to Bring Her Back. And I still think Bring Her Back was better.
Oh, Bring Her Back was definitely better. Not to say we'll get to our review, like our rankings in a second, but to me, like, it's a shame that Bring Her Back, I think, bottomed out at like 19 million total worldwide. This has already made over 70 million worldwide, and I'm like, Bring Her Back is such a better film in every aspect.
It's scarier and stressful and like
grosser.
Ange and I were saying that like months later we're still talking about that film, and like Weapons was good. Like I enjoyed it, but I'm not going to be talking about it months down the road, I don't think. I am going to say it, and maybe this is unpopular, and I'm going to get told off in the comments, but I do think it's overhyped.
Yeah.
I do. I'm sorry. I have to say it. I do think it's overhyped. It
kind of reminds me of Hereditary. Hereditary was so hyped. Now, this movie didn't make me angry in the way that Hereditary ended up in the end. But I walked it out being like, it was fine.
Yeah, it was fine. It was a good movie. Like, I definitely think it's worth seeing. I don't think you need to see it on IMAX. I think it's fine to just see it on a regular thing. I do think it's worth seeing in the theater. And it is like a good experience. Like the creepiness of it, the anticipation, the audio, like all of that is good. For me, some of the anticipation parts just went on just a little too long, and they started to lose their they're oomph.
And there were a couple little side plots that didn't really go
anywhere. Yeah. And like some of the characters were so interesting. Like I am really curious if maybe some scenes got cut or something, because it was a long film. It's a long film for a horror movie, right? What's your rating? What do you think?
So I am going to give it an 8 out of 10, just because once the horror kicked in, I appreciated what it did. I loved how it was shot. I thought it was well acted. I thought the main child actor in particular was excellent.
Oh yeah, we're seeing a lot of great child actors this year.
I thought that the antagonist was a very memorable performance, and if it wasn't for Bring Her Back, might be one of my favorite villainous performances of the year, but a very broadly portrayed character.
Yeah.
But, Julia Garner was good.
I didn't
Josh Brolin was good.
I didn't like Julia Garner's character, but I don't think you're supposed to.
Yeah. It's funny because you when we first went to see Wolfman, you told me how much you loved this actress, and I'd never seen her in anything before. And in Wolfman, I was like, yeah, she was fine. And in that, she was fine. And as a Silver Surfer, she was fine. But I haven't been blown away by Julia Garner yet.
She was so good in the Anna Delvey Netflix piece. She was like a chameleon in that, becoming Anna. Like she was a chameleon in that. She was so good. And Ozarks, she was from Ozarks, and yeah. But I don't know. Like I'm glad that she's getting these roles, but they're just not that complex for what she's capable of. Like she's capable of much more. I do like seeing Josh Brolin and stuff again. Like I've been seeing him. I think he was in a show I saw, Outer Limits or something like that.
He's not trapped as Thanos anymore. He can do something else.
I do like seeing him. Benedict Wong, same thing. I really like seeing him and stuff. His character was interesting and had some funny moments. You made a comment earlier too. There was a lot more humor than we were expecting.
Yeah. So horror comedy is still alive and well, but I almost would have preferred if this had played it a little straighter.
Me too.
I don't mind a good horror comedy, and I did appreciate some of the comedic aspects of it too, but I was like, if this had just been a straight horror film, I think it would have been more memorable.
I think it should have stuck with being a straight horror film. Like the presentation of stuff leading up to it, the hand-drawn child movie posters and stuff, the weird clips they put on YouTube and everything. Like I think they should have just gone for broke with the horror. Maybe like the odd funny thing to just like give the audience a break and break the tension, but there was a lot of comedy of it, and it didn't work for me the way that it worked in Barbarian. Like Barbarian was nice to help along the tonal shift, like and Justin Long was in this, and I didn't realize he was going to be in this, so yeah, he was in it. Had a little cameo there, and I was waiting for him to do something dumb too, but he doesn't for the most part.
So what would your rating be?
So like I'm hovering between a 7.5 and an 8. Like all the good things that you're saying I agree with. I think for me, it was so hyped up that I was expecting a bit more. And if I am comparing it to like Sinners or Bring Her Back or even Together, like I think aspects of Together were better than this. Not all of it. I don't know that I would say Together was a better film, but it did some things better. For me, like I did find it a bit long with the perspective shifting, and it just, I don't know. It was good, but didn't really scare me. I got some jump scares out of it. But again, comparing it to like Bring Her Back, again, months later, I'm still talking about it. So like, I think I'm being generous giving it an 8. So I think maybe I'll stick with a 7.5, and people are going to rake me over the coals in the comments because everybody I know loves this movie and they're posting about it on Facebook. And again, I don't think it was bad.
That's the thing that kind of surprises me is the audience score for this on Rotten Tomatoes has been quite high. And I don't know, I'm not always the best at picking up the vibe in a room, but I felt like our audience wasn't vibing with that.
No, our audience, like a third of our third audience showed up late, and then people left like the instant it was over. But
there's no post-credit scene.
There's no post-credit, but I mean, they were just like flying out of their seat. So I feel like the audience, I think they were into it, but not as into it as we've been with other films. It does make me sad that like, it's getting all this attention and then stuff like Bring Her Back just doesn't. And maybe I'm just feeling a little sour about it.
Well, I mean, not even just Bring Her Back, but stuff like Drop and Novocaine and like these really under the radar films that we saw at the beginning of doing this channel that it felt like nobody was going to the theaters. And Black Bag, and I don't know, there's so many other films this year that I liked more than that. Again, I'm happy that an original non-sequel, non-franchise horror film is doing really well. I like Zach Cregger as a director and as a writer. I'm very interested to see what he does with Resident Evil, particularly after that.
I mean, it's a good movie. It's not a bad movie. I don't want this to sound like I'm being overly necessarily negative. I'm not. I think I just expected more. And I think part of the reason why it is doing so well is it maybe does appeal more to a more general audience as opposed to just like a horror flick audience. You know what I mean? Like and it had a really good marketing campaign.
Really good trailer, like intriguing premise, and it didn't quite live up to. I think it's hurt for us. I don't want to speak for you, but I think the hype has ended up hurting it because it doesn't match the hype. I feel like if it didn't have the hype, I think we would have been like, oh.
I don't think it was as disconnected as Long Legs, though. Like, I feel like Long Legs was really, really hyped, and then we went to see it, and we were like, I mean, yeah, it was good, but, like, it wasn't that good. And I felt like the world was like that. A lot of people were like, what? When Long Legs came out. But yeah, anyway, we've got some more movies coming out in the next few months, and towards the end of the year, you know, like there's Avatar and stuff like that, and Tron. Looking forward to that. Is there anything immediately coming out that we're expecting? I really want to see, there's this one horror movie that's supposed to come out. I can't think of the name off the top of my head, but it looks like it's a return to sort of the found footage feature, and it's like body cam found footage, and it's cops trying to solve a serial killer murder, and you're actually seeing the serial killer through the stuff. So
yeah, I'm actually I feel like we're entering a bit of a movie drought. There's not a lot in the next month that I can think of that I'm like, oh, I can't wait to see it. I'm sure we'll figure out something to go see and review for the channel, but I felt like this was the last one for a little bit that's like on my hype radar.
Yeah, on the hype radar. Yeah. Anyway, you know what to do. You can please like and subscribe. Click the bell if you want to get notifications. We don't make loads of posts, so you won't get your inbox flooded. But if you don't want to miss something, you should click that bell. We love hearing your comments. And we have started sharing some mini reviews in shorts, where if Drew sees something or I see something by myself, we're just going to give you an under 3-minute review, and it's up on our shorts, and it's just our thoughts on those films. So you can check out
I did a little one for the independent drama comedy Sorry Baby. I've got another one I need to transfer to you of The Naked Gun, which I loved so much more than I expected to. And I'm sure that you'll go and see some stuff that I'm not interested or dying to see.
Or I think I might even review some stuff I'm watching on streaming, because there's been some good stuff, and I watch a lot more streaming than Drew does. So, yeah.
You can give us your instant movie review reactions to streaming stuff that I'm not.
I'll do them in my bed with like a blanket over my head and the light shining in my face. Anyway,
you can do that K-pop demon thing that's taking the world by storm right now.
I keep hearing all about it. Yeah, I need to check that out. So anyway, thank you so much, and we will see you at the movies. Get it eventually?